What is good, everybody, and welcome to another NBA 2K Lab video. As per request in the comments of our last finishing tier list, we bring to you today the finishing tier list for bigs. So if you need help deciding on which badges you should be using or prioritizing, look no further. And if you just so happen to be new to the channel, man, be sure to subscribe and like the video for more content like this. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So if you're new to our tier list, we have 4 tiers, starting in the S tier, which is required badges you need to be using. Then we have A tier, which are considered necessary, B tier, which we consider to be useful, and of course the C tier badges, which we consider not needed. And if you have seen our tier list, we like to get the most obvious badge out the way, and that badge is of course Fast Twitch. Now this badge really makes close shots OP after a couple pump fakes. To go up quickly after making the defender bite is considered meta for inside scoring, and this badge is the one that will help you the most. Now there are a couple more obvious ones, but I'll save those for the end. But now let's move into the C tier badges. And a badge like Teardropper is a more guard oriented badge, not needed for bigs. Slithery Finisher and Acrobat, same kind of thing. They require you to be 6'10 or shorter, so we have this in the C tier as well. Giant Slayer, pretty much strictly a guard badge, so that's also C tier. And another badge that's less effective on big men is Limitless Takeoff. Although it would work slightly better on smaller big men, still not worth more than a single badge point, if that. And like I said, this is C tier, so these badges are not needed. While they can be somewhat useful, like in the B tier, they won't make or break your build whatsoever. So continuing this idea, we have Dream Shake, and this badge can be good for dedicated post scorers and provide some light stuns, but won't really help most bigs. Like I said, these close shots are more meta than anything, so that's probably more recommended. Mouse in the House is kind of a pointless badge this year, as it already is insanely easy to score in the paint, especially against smaller defenders, which makes this badge not needed. Now one badge you may or may not be surprised with being in the C tier is Post Spin Technician, and this badge used to be really effective, but not so much in 2K22, and there's much better moves to use instead. Now moving on, we have Pro Touch, and we always recommend turning your layup timing off, of course, which makes this badge useless. But if you do indulge in such activities like post hooks, can be useful to turn it on to get that timing down. Next we have Putback Boss, and you can put this badge on bronze to unlock the putback animations if you wish, but other than that, you're better off saving your points. Now one more badge I have left in the C tier before we move on is Lob City Finisher, and this badge really isn't needed as lobs are already automatic if you're open and will pretty much miss if you're bumped. You can save your points on this badge here. Finally, we're moving into the B tier with useful badges, and we'll start with Unstrippable. And this badge will help more than just protecting drives to the rim, as guards can pluck you on standing shots even after you bully them all the way under the basket. This is their only defense against taller players, so it's usually wise to run this on at least bronze. Next we have Fearless Finisher, and this badge is good for contact layups and gives a decent boost, but I wouldn't invest too much into it as a big. Most layups are standing close shots, which don't get bodied often and are often high percentage anyways, so this badge is only in the B tier. This next badge, I know some might think it should be higher, but it's not, and that badge is Rise Up. This badge says it increases the likelihood of dunking the ball when standing in the painted area, but honestly doesn't seem to work as good as it should. And although standing dunks and contact dunks just don't happen frequently enough, it's still a useful badge and one to equip, as this should be one of the strengths of a big man. Next we have Hook Specialist, and this has always been a pretty cheesy badge in most 2Ks. It's not much different this year, especially when having a high close shot rating. Goes in often when paired with Pro Touch and decent timing, so if this is part of your playstyle, Hook Specialist can be very effective. Now Posterizer is another good badge, but not as great as it once was, especially for bigs. Standing shots are generally better than going for dunks, but if you're good with the dunk meter, this can be especially useful. Now next we have Back Down Punisher, and this badge is great to get yourself in position for easy drop steps and close shots, and is really just a bully badge and pairs well with the other S tier badges like Drop Stepper, which is the go-to scoring move for bigs, and Grace Under Pressure, which gives a significant boost to shots quote unquote close to the basket. Now all of these S tier badges provide great synergy with each other and give you the most efficient way to score as a big in the paint. Now that is all we got for the big man finishing tier list. I know some people might disagree with this list, but that's the fun of doing these anyway. Share your opinions and comments down below, and don't forget to leave a like on the video if you found it helpful. It's Spellboy, and I'm out.